Okay, hello. Welcome to Movie Crap Live. I think we started exactly at 10:30. Maybe. I hope so.
Tax Act has
Shut the fuck up, Tax Act. Whatever. Welcome to Movie Crap Live. Here we go. We are here. As soon as I see the thing, although it seems like I'm there, but whoa. Sit around. Okay, hold on. I want to hear it. That's good. Welcome. Oh shit, sit around. That is good. Wow. Wow. Okay, let me say hello to everybody. Sit around with the super chat early and with a really fun. Oh, Nico. Nico. Nico was on my lap and. Anyway, all right. Hello. Starting off making loud noises. This is amazing. All right. Hello to, let's say, Cornbread first, because he's always here first. Cornbread, Nathaniel Foga, Medela Butterfly. I'll do this in order of appearance. William Ellman, Sinram, Purple Goop, Austin. Will is here. Hello. Jordan Salafalo, K-Master. Did I say everyone? Did I say Purple Goop? I hope I did. Let's switch. Oh, Pup is here. Let's switch over to, believe it or not. Hold on. Believe it or not, I'm not in the kitchen. I know. Look at this. We're not in the kitchen today. The classic set, I guess. Actually not sure which is the most prominent at this point anymore. But yes, I am here. And Yellow. Hello, Yellow. Before I talk about what's going on, let's Sinram, thank you for helping promote. Hello, Icy Coconut. I was going to bring that up later. We get the first super chat. I said name suggestion for this Saturday stream. There is a mess around stream, and he says crap around and find out, which is like, I might use that, Sinram. I might use that. That is amazing. So thank you for that, Sinram. Thank you. That was great. And hold on, let me make sure I can see what I'm doing here. Is that open? Okay, this is the Retro Vibe Celsius. That's what we're drinking tonight. I always kind of wanted this one. I don't know if I had it before. Maybe I did. I don't remember having it before. But cheers to you, Sinram. That was good. No, trust me, I'll be back. It was interesting. Izzy, if you could watch that for me. Hold on. Have you liked my Bloxy didn't get a notification? I'm sorry, Bloxy. Austin says, hope you like my update day bits yesterday. Super Mario RPG, Sonic the Hedgehog, Donkey Kong 3, Adventures of Lolo 1 and 2, King's Knights, Dig Dug, Chu Man Fu. What? I don't understand. Huh? Wow, we're getting a lot. Oh, look at all these super chats. Okay. I'm Austin. What? Huh? What? Are they all in Mario Galaxy? Jesus. I don't know what that is. Cheers to you, Austin. Cheers to you. Whatever that was. I'll do these in order of appearance. William Ellman, thank you for your generosity. He said, just saw Christoph Bargley's The Drama. It's definitely my favorite of his, possibly of the year so far. No spoilers, but the movie's definitely going to piss a lot of people off. LMFAO. Okay. LMFAO. I thought I said LMF, whatever. You know what? For a second, the way you wrote the director, I thought, oh, this is some foreign movie from the 70s. And I was like, oh, it's The Drama. I am curious. I do want to see that. I might actually see Undertone first, because I think I have a chance to see it. But I do want to see that. That gives me hope, because I really it's a Nirvana, the band, the show. Oh, god damn it, I'm stupid. Okay, anyway. Cheers to you, William. And I hope Paul Blart is the after credits in Mario. I hope so too. I would love it if Paul Blart just walked out, just Kevin James as Kevin James in the animated Mario world at the end. I think that would be cool. Cheers, you Bloxy. And we're already past the $20 mark. So, and since we're like early, and I'm just gonna be, are we gonna do it? Okay. I'll let the flashy flash thing as we do. You wrote the entire. Okay, I'll have to check this out. I'm sorry about that. Hello, Rat Boy Mickey. Hello, Will. Um, I didn't see this director's other stuff, but I plan on seeing it, but I wanted to see the. I have a chance to see the Undertone or whatever it's called, the sound horror movie. Where are we going with this? All right. So, let me bring up my script. I'm like bouncing all over the place tonight. Okay, so I have some good small talk. I guess we technically can go over, but I'll explain what's going on. And there's a bunch of stuff going on, and I want you to understand why this is all going on this weekend specifically, because you're probably like, dude, what? Why are you doing so much? So basically, I'm by myself for a little bit, and because of that, his family's off doing spring break stuff out of town. So there's a lot of stuff I just never have the time to do because of family and work and all that stuff. And I do have a bit of time. I mean, I'm going to work, but uh hey Mr. Silver, how's it going? So I am doing certain things. I wanted to just mention that. So if you're like, why are you being so extra right now? It's just because this is my opportunity to be extra. This is this is it. Tomorrow, I'm just gonna lay it all out so you know what's going on. I'm sorry if this is an ad for future stuff or promotion or whatever, but I just since you're come out to the show, I just so there's no confusion. Tomorrow there'll be a I know for sure the what's it Ghosts and Chainsaws like reaction video. I'll mention it here, but there'll be an actual proper reaction. I am determined to like literally review all of Smiling Friends, so I will do a shorts one too because I'm like, well, I've done it all, why not? And those last two, but that one's coming out tomorrow at 4:30, and I believe there'll be a review of Project Hail Mary tomorrow night, and then I'm gonna do an extra stream on Saturday. That stream is not in continuity. Basically, I'm not gonna talk about movie news. It's literally so I can test stuff like the goes to shorts thing. There's like a dumb game I wanted to try. I wanted to mess around with music. I want to see what it's like if I stream from my phone. I'll talk about stuff if you ask me to. And I was going to do a segment, but it's not going to be like as structured as this show. There's a certain structure, but not really. So just to clarify that. And then I will also on Monday be on Animat's show. I think that's at 4 o'clock on Twitch on Monday. And then things will probably, yeah, I'm not going to post 2 videos a day or anything after that. That's sort of my big uh, push thing. But it's like the only time I can do that. So please understand that everything will go back to normal. I don't know when there'll be an extra stream, like 2 streams in a week after this. I really just don't see that happening, and I don't have a reason to because I wanted to do. No, it will not be running. It'll probably be like an hour. I think it would be like an hour, most likely. But I don't know when there would or a reason to do an extra stream. I've thought about doing ones, but it usually takes a lot of energy, and since no one's here, I can like sleep after, so it's cool. But like I don't know, I've thought about summer movie preview or something like that, but I'm like I don't know if I could fill a show. So I think I know we did the Oscars and now this. It's just because I have the time to, and I've wanted to do a mess around stream for like 2 years or something. So just because I have the opportunity. So I apologize if you're like this is too much. Just like you know, I think it'll be cool, and I think it's good for the channel overall. So I hope you like that. But if you don't, I'm sorry, basically. But I think next week will be normal and all that stuff. Although I think I'll be here again in this part next Thursday. So I actually have a setup and I don't have to take it down, which is kind of nice for a little bit. But anyway, Ratboy Mickey said, "Did you hear June 12th is official Mothra Day?" No, I didn't. But thank you for the super chat and cheers to you. I'm just going to leave this up till you do Patreon Discord, the flashy. Anyway, I'm sorry about all that stuff. I hope you enjoyed the Django throwback. That was cool. It's the 60th anniversary of Django. It seemed like people actually checked that out. I think it, which is cool. That's an old review from when Django Unchained came out. Enough with promotion stuff. Things I learned this week. Bust a Moo is not the name of that movie. It's Home on the Range. I'm still confused about that because you look at the trailer, I'm pretty sure Bust a Moo is bigger than the title of that movie, thus meaning the movie is called Bust a Moo. I have never seen that movie. When I make fun of it, they're like, "Well, I like that movie." I'm like, "Good for you. I have no opinion. I just like saying Bust a Moo. That is my opinion. One day, maybe I will. This will go on the Patreon review vote right away, I'm sure." The other thing is I learned a few things about Sam Keith. One is he helped write the story for the first Cow and Chicken. Did anybody know that? Like his cousin created Cow and Chicken. So Sam Keith was behind two of the 90s. Like I would put, maybe not, there's a lot of great 90s anime shows. That's hard. But like of the two most influential, interesting anime shows in the 90s, he was involved in two of them, which is wild. I didn't know that. And then he also directed a movie, which is about like mountain climbing or something. I didn't know that. But yeah, I reviewed that Cow and Chicken episode. Didn't mention it at all. Didn't know that. But yeah, Sam Keith apparently after the Max, like he had some buzz, which was a good show. Like it was. I might even say animation wise, I say it's better than the HBO Spawn show, but I haven't really watched it in a long time. No, he co-created Sandman, and I would say the best video I saw on him was Comic Tropes. I haven't seen his Logan thing. I want to watch that though, or the Wolverine origin video. But he did a Sam Keith video a while ago, and it's really good getting the kind of complications of Sam Keith in his life. He's a weird dude, but like it's interesting. So I would recommend that. But yeah, I didn't know about it. He didn't mention the Cow and Chicken thing. He mentioned the movie, and then I found out about the Cow and Chicken thing through the IMDb. But I didn't know that. I reviewed it and probably looked through it and know Sam Keith, probably some other guy. But yes. So yeah. All right. I don't think I have too much else. I've just been working on a bot stuff. Oh, hello. I am going to talk about that. Hold on. Biggest news this week, or at least today for my money, is Bong Joon-ho's animated movie. I am talking about that. Ali is actually happening. Werner Herzog is a voice in it too. Beyond Pump, cause for celebration. I am interested based on the plot. The design, I was like, anyway, I'll talk about it later. But yes, that is a big news today. I will talk about that later. Cheers to you, Will. Nice to see you here. All right. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoy all the bonus content stuff this week. But I think it's good things. I hope. I think so. Anyway, all right. So let's go back to. We're gonna go back to regular until we're actually close to 40. Oh, and well, sorry. What did I have it on before? Oh, purple. Purple. No, maybe not purple. Okay. Was that pink? Whatever. All right. Hey Gary, how's it going? We have a good crowd tonight. All right. So this and everything I do is supported by you, the fans, either through super chats during the show, and we get to $20 for the flashy thing, and when we get to 40, I've continued this Godzilla bit because it's a good bit and I like it. I bring out this Godzilla and he makes a noise. Let's see where we're at, so you know when the next one is. This is the. We got the fart. So we get the other one, the epic one. I'll put him. You know what? I'll put him. He's just gonna be over here because that doesn't feel good, and I don't think anyone wants to see me do that anymore. All right. What was I gonna say? But yes, your super chat, which very much help, as well as the Patreon, which I am also during this time going to do a new video of and re-go over and all that stuff. But if you want to get in before all the new people come in and be like, I'm hardcore, I've been there forever, you can do that now, and have all sorts of cool stuff like postcards, which I'm mailing out tomorrow. I'm actually doing some Patreon throwbacks that are coming up. One specifically for Easter, as I post an Easter video every year, if you can figure that out, I guess. And as well as all sorts of cool stuff, access to my public access show. You get more power in the movie review vote. You get all sorts of really cool stuff. All sorts of really cool stuff that are exclusive to you. It very much helps me to continue to do what I do. Of course, if you are financially able to do so. If not, liking this stream or any video I make always helps. Writing a comment, subscribing, and turning on notifications, of course, if you want all those notifications. Let me preface that. But if you do, and you can find out about the streams and the community posts and the throwbacks and all the instant premieres and stuff, you can do that. But if you don't have a login and are just watching or just scanned a flyer that I put on the subway and you're like, why is this guy talking? I don't understand how to turn this off. This is weird. I'm sorry, but thank you for watching. I really appreciate it. Austin says, will you ever bring out Gamera? He really need. I mean, Gamera, I don't have a Gamera. I don't know if my kids have seen Gamera. See, Gamera, I knew about Gamera before I saw the Mystery Science Theater thing, because they used to play him on TBS and stuff. So we knew Gamera. Anyway, cheers to you, Austin. Thank you for the super chat. And then there is the Discord, which has all sorts of awesome stuff, including, I think they have a movie watch this week on Friday, maybe. I forget what it is and what time it is. The movie watch. All sorts of cool stuff like licensed playing card channel, which there will be a post about this. There's also all sorts of cool stuff the licensed playing card channel, where I will post these awesome James Bond cards. There's general, where I ask people what they want to talk about on Movie Crap this week, as well as there's a daily question. There's movie news discussion. There's video game discussion. I've heard. I don't know. I don't ever go in there. You can do self-promo, all sorts of cool stuff. It's run very well by Cornbread, Zane Powers, Austin, and Ryan Welcherson. They do a wonderful job. It's a really good community, and you should join if you want to. What's this Friday? It's a chill night watching episodes. Yeah, it is a cool time. I am going to do the license playing card thing this week. That is something, I need to do that. These are cool cards. I'm serious. I think, I actually was going to, if I have the time, find a place that has shitty cards. I have too many nice cards. Oh, where did you go? YouTube, we're already having problems. All right. Okay. William Elman said, I just saw Alpha, the third film by Julia Ducournau, and yeah, even though she's a Palme d'Or winner, I can understand why Nia is currently trying to bury it with absolutely no promotion. Yeah, what was that? I saw that somewhere. Hold on. Before I drink to that, that sounds so familiar, and now I'm like, didn't I? Okay, this is Alpha movie 2026. Okay, I got confused and didn't watch this trailer. Two fierce female alien tackle dangerous and thrilling as they navigate. Is it like as weird as the other ones? This seems interesting. I've only seen and reviewed the other one. I did go into that's true. I did go into about the Mario games. You're right. Okay, that's interesting. I'm gonna have to check that out. I'm sorry if I didn't. Oh, William Ullman. I got confused. I thought this one movie was that, but I didn't see the last one, and that one sounds a little more just plot wise mainstream. So I'm guessing it is not. But yeah, cheers to William and cheers to Alpha. I think we were at if YouTube behaves itself, which you think it would, but okay, can we? All right. Yes, we are. Imagine if I was thinking of doing a time lapse of me playing Mario Galaxy. But I was like, but then I don't really want I don't want people to criticize My bad, I'm sure bad gaming. I was like not interested in. Oh, I just put the remote down here. Look at that. All right. All right, let's get into this tonight. Sorry, it's already 10:50. First off, I'm just gonna start the show off with the big one of the big ones, which is Smiling Friends April Fool's Day thing. I think so many people are like, maybe you'll go April Fools, here's a new season, or here's the new episodes, or something. What we got was cool. We got the short film that played in the Halloween episode of Smiling Friends called Ghosts and Chainsaws. Again, reaction. That video will be tomorrow at 4:30. But that was cool. I also was just watching it because it's an Adult Swim thing, and then I went um I went, oh right, it's the Smiling Friends thing. Oh, okay, didn't realize it, but it was still cool. It was like generally a good horror short, which is cool. I like the goodbye ad, which was with so this is it, with the Huey Lewis thing. I thought was actually kind of, people were like, oh, it's on the nose and all this stuff. I was like, I think they're like, hey, this was a show we all, it became like that line at Battery Park was insane. Um, it I think everyone's like, hey, we had this organic hit, like these guys were on the internet, but it wasn't like the Rick and Morty thing. It was like this whole awesome, different, very Adult Swim type thing, and now it's over. It felt like they're generally like, hey, we're sad. This sucks, but I'm glad we had the good years um with each other and stuff. I don't know. It did make me sad that I didn't think they were going to be like, here's a new thing or whatever it was going to be. But I think we can be bummed. We can be bummed. Is it doing that thing? Yes, it is. About it. So hello, Emblenty. Oh, nice different icon there. But yeah, I guess it is over. I think we're just sort of like getting out the little bit of Smiling Friends that's still there, which is nice that they're releasing it. I like how the ends just sort of like, and here's everything, and we're done. And I would like to see them go on to do other things, but I'm happy with um but we'll see. I don't know. I'm happy with what they're doing. We'll see what's going to come of them, and I'm curious what Adult Swim's new, what their newer thing's gonna be, because Smiling Friends is gone. We have Primal, and they have other stuff. Well, Primal's, I don't know when Primal's coming back. But like, I don't know. I am curious what the next era of Adult Swim is going to be without Smiling Friends. That's gonna be interesting. I don't know. I hope they have another kind of like very Adult Swim type show. I think they do. They have a lot of other good shows, and maybe some of them will step up. It seems like the some of the, I don't know, but I'm sad. I'll miss it, but I think they have enough good stuff. What was the Brothers show? Did a review of whatever that was. What's it with the muscle guys? That. I'm sure people like that. So sorry. Cinram, thank you for doing the timestamps, and I hope there's not too many things in here. So I talked about Star Fox last week, and this is probably the only other my semi Mario Galaxy voice thing. Haha, you clowns. There we go. But Glenn Powell was confirmed right after last show, I believe, as Star Fox. I actually don't mind that casting. I think it's pretty good. He was in Top Gun Maverick after all. Has a very he's very charismatic, and I think it sort of works. I am a little like, wow, there's a lot of things in this. I'm not, I don't know. We'll see how I feel about that movie. In a sense, that movie has no that movie's quality doesn't matter to me. Not because I'm like it's a kids movie, but because I'm going to have to watch that movie 140 times. It does not matter the quality of that film. I will have to watch that so many times that it does not matter if it is good. Quality of this, I reached past quality of the Mario movies. They just exist, and I have to experience them a lot of times. Like I'm not even being zen. I'm like, where like, you see Vince McMahon and then his eyes are red something. I'm like that, like Mario exists to be in life, no matter quality of Mario movie. This, it. I'm like, I am seeing it Friday. Have a review soon, all that stuff. But I was like, when anyone who's a parent is complains about the quality of it. I'm like, it doesn't matter. It'll be in the background of so many. You'll let your kids watch it because you need them to show up on a ride somewhere. Like, it's just gonna be in your life 140 times. Just accept it. I think a lot of us thought Moana 2 would be that, but I actually don't know any kids who've rewatched that. Has anyone? I don't think so. Anyway, I'm cool with him being Star Fox. Apparently, he campaigned for the role. Donald Glover being Yoshi, like, even though I love Donald Glover, I really didn't like as much. And Glenn Powell as Star Fox, I think he's doing less promotion. But yeah, I don't know. I do wonder about the promotion thing, which we're actually about to get into. I guess I'll turn it back until we hit. Oh wait, we did hit 40, so we get Godzilla. I'll do Godzilla and then we'll stop. This is the Godzilla roar. You guys earned it. All right, and now let's do Deep Purple. Sorry. Brad Bird. I read that as Big Bird, and I agree. All right, so to Gosling news. This is the Gosling corner, I guess. Syndrome, you don't have to write that if you don't want to. There is all these stories about Hail Mary 2, Project Hail Mary 2 isn't going to happen because it's such a big hit. Here's the thing with Project Hail Mary 2. The writer says he has an idea, but he has to write a book and he's working on another project, and like literally nothing's happened. It's like such a nothing burger of a, well, if I write a second book, will you do that? Nah, I don't know. I have an idea though. And you're like, whatever. That guy kind of sucks. All his interviews, I was like, oh, Drew Goddard is why. I've always heard that Drew Goddard's why like The Martian worked and why Project Hail Mary worked, which Drew Goddard's a great screenwriter. It makes sense. I never saw the Bad Times at the El Royale. If Will is still here, I think he's a fan of that. I didn't see that one, but I like Cabin in the Woods. I know he's a Buffy veteran. But I hope I don't know. It is interesting. The talk of the sequel, but it seems like there's a German of an idea, and they're kind of like, sure, let's write about it. So cool. Will says one thing I'm really bitchy about this new Mario movie is apparently Galaxy name only, which is kind of lame. Just Illumination trying to do too much per usual. First off, cheers to you, Will. Thank you for your generosity. Cheers to you. Let me say this about that. I was very confused as someone who, I'm not a gamer, but I've talked about how some Mario releases are bigger than others. I thought in my head they'll go game order, and I didn't understand why they did that. I think they just Galaxy because apparently it is like the most recognizable Mario game. But to me, like 3 is. So it's like, are we really going to go the first movie, Galaxy, and then call it 3? Are we going to do World? It's just like the naming convention confuses me. But I don't, yeah, it is very weird. It is very confusing. Illumination is, I don't know, it's also like strange that Illumination got Mario, and it feels like it's like not, the Mario movies are almost considered not Illumination. It's like a separate thing from the other Illumination things, which is weird. But yeah, no, maybe I should check out Bad Times at El Royale. I never got to see it because there's, I'm sure, a good reason. Actually, speaking of Star Fox, do you remember how it was real? I think Adam Conover revealed that they were talking to, I think it was now it's called it was College Humor then, now it's called Dropout, but College Humor was talking to them about doing Nintendo stuff, and one was like kind of a stop motion Star Fox movie or something that was in development. Does anyone remember that? I remember reading about that, and that sounded really cool. And then they like, I think it sort of got leaked, and Nintendo got spooked, and like those versions didn't happen. I remember it was Star Fox and maybe something else, but I remember him revealing that. And this happened today. This news story. This is the second in the Gosling corner, I guess. Last week, I think I revealed that, or told the story that I don't I don't break stories here. That the Daniels had gotten Ryan Gosling to lead their sci-fi movie that's coming out in 2027. Apparently, that has not worked out, and it is not happening. Supposedly, part of the reason that is listed the um in the Deadline article is, and I'll say this: this is partly why Ryan Gosling's so big, is because he spends a long time promoting each of his movies. He spends about what they estimate about a month and a half of time to promote his movies, and because not only does he have, he has uh, Project Hail Mary, but he has a Star Wars movie next year, and then he wants to promote that Star Wars movie, and they felt that like him and his projects would mess that up. So it apparently was in negotiations, but also because he not only shoots a movie, but then does these huge promotional cycles. He then wants a break because he's a huge star. Although I will say they promoted Project Hail Mary very well. I think the Fall Guy or whatever it was that got annoying. This time it worked. In Barbie it worked. So they have a point there. But yeah, apparently like time off and promotion schedule and all that, it just was a huge conflict of schedules, which I can believe. Um, so we'll see what's going to happen with all that. But yeah, apparently they are looking for a new lead. If I was Glenn Powell, I know everyone doubts this dude. I 100% Glenn Powell go. I don't know if he's being offered. I know they're different ages, but like Glenn Powell, come on. I don't know what this script is. No one knows. It's just a sci-fi Daniels movie. It's got a great release date, but in all seriousness, just like Glenn Powell, just call them up. I just think you should do it. I don't know who watches the show. That's actually who Cornbread is Glenn Powell. No, I'm joking. But when I read that, I was like, you should do it because it sounds like that would work out. He would work well with those guys. But I don't know who they're looking at, and since we don't know what the script or concept is, other than it's a Daniels movie, who knows? But hey, the original person they wanted for Everything Everywhere didn't work out either. So maybe it'll be a blessing in disguise, or it won't be, and we'll all hate it. All right, we're gonna do trailers early because there's a lot of trailers and some trailer drama actually. But first off, in a trailer that I said, my wife didn't get to watch this. I was like, it looks like a movie that she would watch with her friends and get drunk with, called "Stop That Train." It looks like campy, gay fun, kind of like a made to be cult movie thing. I think it, I think it looks like a thing you drink too much and fall asleep on the couch during. Stop That Train. It's like a huge train. It's going to be an accident. RuPaul is the president, and there's like a lot of gay celebrities. It's a very gay movie. Hello, Javier Portello. It looks fun, but it looks like if you're going to see that movie, you know what you're in for. You know what I mean? Like you're not going to that movie and like, you get it. It looked fun. I hope it. I hope whoever gets to see it has a good time with it. Okay, next up, the Master Universe trailer. I did see that. This has, of course, you sort of get a glimpse of Jared Leto. It's Skeletor with the voice. It's fine. I did like Battle Cat as the lion in the MGM logo. It was actually pretty funny. I am cool with this movie so far, to be honest with you. I do think, I think I tweeted or skeeted or whatever, but this feels like a movie that should have come out around the time the Warcraft movie came out, which is 10 years old. So a part of me is like, maybe this should have come out 10 years ago, because it really does feel like something from the 2010s and something that the 2010s would have liked a lot. I think I do think it's like a 2010s kind of thing, to be honest with you. It doesn't feel like something that should be happening now. And I don't know if I don't know. I am into it, but I'm like, I totally get when Gen Z is like, why are you making, like, why is this happening now? And although it is like, it's Travis Knight, right? I mean, thing is, like, I think if they sold it as it is, right? Isn't it Travis Knight? Isn't he do it? Am I wrong? Let me look up Travis Knight. I'm no, I don't think it is. Travis Knight, American filmmaker. Oh, Nepo baby extraordinaire. Yeah, he did Bumblebee. If they said from the director of Bumblebee, I think people would be into it. And Leica, but they don't say that. They're just like Master Universe. They should be like from the Nepo baby who gave you Leica. Did you like the Noid? Well, he ruined that company and gave you Bumblebee. See Masters of the Universe. I mean, that's how I would have sold it. Oh no, it looks like fun. It looks like a Master Universe thing. Travis Knight very much understands this 80s stuff. You can tell he's very good at that from Bumblebee. So I actually do think it'll probably be good. Will it do well? I don't know, but we'll see. Um, Another thing, the trailer that I got confused about Alpha because it happened at the same time, and I kept being referred to as, I think I heard people mention the name Alpha. And anyway, I saw the Apex trailer. It's basically Charlize Theron is trying to like whitewater raft or something, and Taron Egerton follows her. It looks really cool. I like Taron Egerton Carry On, which to be honest, one of the better Netflix thrillers there. I liked it a lot. Um, um, but it looked like a fun thriller. It like legitimately looked like a pretty decent like fun thriller. Two big personality movie stars fighting each other. It looks cool to me. Taron Egerton as a villain looked fun. No, look, Will, I'm not going to disagree with you. Wildwood looks a lot better than Master Universe. I am more excited for Wildwood. Just Wildwood didn't have a trailer this week, so I didn't. But I'm with you on that. I first should have mentioned Wildwood. I mean, I'll give Travis Knight this. Like, of all the Nepo babies we have to deal with, at least he's like keeping stop motion animators employed. Like, that's actually cool. So I know I've shat on him and helped with the Saber video. Did he make that video? I don't know. Whatever. Um, about his background and all that stuff. But like, at least he's like used it as money for something cool. But I mean, I wouldn't have screwed over Will Vinton, but that's a whole other thing. The Cape Fear trailer. This is the new Apple TV show that's basically of the original 50s movie and then the Scorsese movie that Spielberg produced, and then we get this one. I might review the original because it's been a while and I like the original. Um, if maybe I brought this up that I had this debate with like Ian and a couple of animators about the Cape Fear Simpsons episode, and I was like, because they said it's spoofing the 90s one. I said I actually think it's spoofing the 50s one or whatever the original one was. And nobody believed me. And then I like did all this research and like I was like, no, it's actually anyway, I probably brought this up before. I'm sorry. But it looked fun. Javier Bardem. I was gonna say Javier Bordello. Javier Bardem. Sorry. You're not in it, right? Javier Bordello? Javier Bardem plays the main, whatever his name is, the bad guy. Patrick Wilson is the other. It looks fun. It looks like a good thing. I guess in the era of shows like Beef, it works out totally. Um, no, the original to me is the Mitchum one. But yeah, apparently most people think that it was the 90s one referenced in the Simpsons episode, but it's the Mitchum one because they could watch that on VHS more and they can only just see the Scorsese one in theaters. So anyway, if anyone ever brings that up. But it looked like a fun trailer. I'm not sure if I'll watch it, but I'm like curious about it. But I don't know, maybe I'll review the Mitchum one. We'll see. Okay. The Backrooms trailer. First off, I think the whole Backrooms thing is fun. I like kind of like, oh, I found this footage or I found this thing and it looks really cool kind of found footage. I was really into the Blair Witch. I'll get to that thing later. Mythos, all the backstory. I like that kind of thing. That's like fine. I love that stuff. But then, so this trailer I thought looked really cool. Chiwetel Ejiofor looked like he was having fun. It got into the kind of surrealism of the back rooms and all that. So I liked I thought it was cool, and I like that it's like a new filmmaker and they're doing something with internet stuff, which is like how movie studios always do. They always find a thing that's sort of popular and make a movie out of it. But then the director of I Saw the TV Glow Jane Schoenberg, kept tweeting about it, and a lot of people were like, "Oh, well, they're criticizing this 20-year-old, and it's like shitty." And I'm like, I don't know about that, but they did tweet too many times about it. To be perfectly honest, I was like, they should just make movies of the Simpsons episode, which I was like, again with the Simpsons thing, like, you mean the Twilight Zone episode that the Simpsons thing is based on? Because I watched that when I reviewed that Simpsons episode recently. Um, to me, it's like I didn't love all of the like one tweet is one thing. If you're gonna do more than that, but I don't know. I'm also like, you're a better filmmaker than to bother with this. To me, it's like, wait till it comes out. It did look like cool and fun, and I was excited for it. But yeah, there was some, like, I guess Twitter or Blue Sky kind of beef between them, which I found a little silly. But I think I posted on one of them. I was like, because she kept posting, or they kept posting, I'm sorry, how they should make movies of the Treehouse of Horror stuff, because they're comparing it to the Homer goes in the 3D thing. But I'm like, yeah, but that's from the Twilight Zone. So is it just the Twilight Zone thing, or is it like the Simpsons thing, or like did the Simpsons usurp the Twilight Zone thing at this point? It's like very confusing. But anyway, I found that whole thing a little weird. But I hope, it's just like, I'm gonna ignore it. But it was like, I did see people going like, oh, they're dragging a 20-year-old. I think they're just dragging like the idea of the backrooms. But I'm okay with it. But I'm kind of like, horror is naturally exploitative, and if how you're being exploitative is using something like that, I think it's fine. William Almond said in the Robert De Niro Cape Fear, he was smoking a cigar and watching The Problem Child. What movie will the actor be vaping and laughing through in the third one? Oh my god. Oh wow. What was the original movie? Oh wow. I hope it's Problem Child again. What would be wild? Hear me out. He's watching The Simpsons while they're complaining about Sideshow Bob, or they're watching the movie that was there a movie in the original one? That's the thing. Okay, we got some super chats there. William, oh wait, I responded to that. But it's gonna be vaping. It's gonna be vaping. Cheers to you, William. Cheers to you. And a very generous super chat from Will, and I think we are okay. We're gonna do. Let me do this, then we can do the flashy, and the thing. Real hype for the back rooms for me is Kane Parsons being a part of this phenomenon from the very beginning, getting director of production of this level with how young he is. Parsons shows a lot of potential. I 100% agree, man. No, I got really into watching all of that stuff. It was like a lot of fun and mysterious and weird, and like made me feel uncomfortable. That's like really hard to get that sort of thing to work the way it does. So yeah, I 100% agree. Cheers to you. Thank you for your generosity. It's very nice of you. Okay, we are past. We can do another Godzilla roar. It's the fart there. I hope. I don't know if people like that or not. I'm not sure. Then we'll do the. Oh, I like the reach. I almost said reach around, but I didn't. Anyway, I thought it was cool, but I don't know. I'm not sure what's going on there. That was a weird kind of thing. All right, next trailer. And at first you're like, oh, adult animation. That's why you're talking about it. No, if you're in the know, you'll know why I'm talking about this. It's called Kevin. It's about a cat, dog, animal. I forget. Doesn't matter. And the people, the married couple he lives with, are breaking up, and he's worried about what's going on. It's voiced by Jason Schwartzman. That's fine. But John Waters is a voice in it. John Waters is back in animation. It's a regular voice on it, so I'm gonna watch the show. I'll at least watch. I'll do a reaction thing to the first episode. John Waters is in it. The fart is preferable. I notice everyone likes the fart. I like that. But yeah, John Waters is in it. It's created by Audrey Plaza. It seems actually like a pretty cool. Like at first, I was like, "This is dumb," and then I heard John Waters, but also I was wrapped up in it. But then I went, "Hey, is this like the only thing we're gonna get from Liarmouth? Is like John Waters in a cartoon?" I'll take it, I guess. But like, I guess that's like what happened because him and Audrey Plaza clearly hit it off, and she get him work. At least he's getting work. You know, he's been trying to be in an animated show for since The Simpsons. I'm very surprised after a really good Simpsons episode, we didn't get more of that. Um, in the thing that everyone is probably gonna talk shit about, but rightfully so, the swap trailer, which has the distinction, and they really sold it on. I did notice it before I saw them really hyping it up. Is that Michael B did a very nice intro with his niece and nephew. I'm not sure. It's showing that he was Oscar winner Michael B. Jordan, but this is the swap trailer. It is again about a family thing where two people are turned into other things, which I think was the plot of the last Skydance animation thing. I didn't watch that one. Maybe I'll review this one. Skydance is John Lasseter's company, but without all the talent, because it says from the director of Tangled, not Byron Howard, who most people know and directed Encanto and the Zootopias. They got Nathan Grino, who only is a co-director on Tangled, and clearly I'm not exactly sure why what his deal is, but he hasn't done a lot since Tangled. To be honest, it looks like any other animated film. I have no clue why Michael B. Jordan, who clearly actually has good taste when you hear him talking about animation. So you know what, Cornbread? I think it's just because people made a big deal about it, so maybe it's not that many. I remember it being more, so I apologize if I made too much out of it. I think it's maybe because I was responding to the hype around it, but good to call me out specifically. No, I mean that for real. I'd much rather be questioned about something than let it stand there. But it looks pretty bad. It looks like any other animated trailer. I do not understand why John Lasseter didn't just retire and let his legacy stand. And like, this is basically like, let's say Pixar, um, uh, let's say Pixar is Fleischer Studios. This is the famous studios era of John Lasseter completely. If John Lasseter isn't watching, that would mean something to him even. I mean, it's just like it is really like the bottom of the base. It's like Popeye. Yeah, Popeye, famous studios. Popeye is notoriously very bad. Maybe there's some good ones in there, but like this feels like that. Like I don't I don't get what he's doing. I don't understand why he's making these films, and like maybe the Brad Bird thing will work out, but I just didn't really, I don't understand it whatsoever. It's really bad. I think Ray Gun will probably work out. I see Will's thing there about it, but I'm very confused why we're still going, right? Okay. Why he's doing this. And I get that Skydance basically works as a way, their only real deal is the Netflix output. I'm wondering if the Netflix deal ends, that even Skydance and Paramount Warners will just be like, please stop. I hope that is the case, because this doesn't look that much better. And I don't know. I'm sure it's going to get a lot of press because Michael B is so popular. And they're going to use him every bit. I'm sure they gave him a bonus to do that. Jortunes said, Jim, let me read this out. Hold on. Jim Nye, the movie guy. I like that. Cheers to you, Jortunes. Will says, LMAO, Skydance Animation, do you think they're ever going to release Brad Bird's Ray Gun? Hate that he went back to last year to get that passion project is made. I have faith in Brad. Well, I used to have faith in Brad Bird, and I sort of have faith in this project that he is smart enough to even get a shitty studio to work for him. I mean, look at what, like Iron Giant. Nobody thought that would work. So I actually think there's like, it could work out. Um, but we'll see. I don't know. I do wonder about that too. Watching this, I'm like, man, I guess Brad Bird didn't care about all that, or even, I mean, I'm assuming he knew. Anyway, that's dark. All right. Cheers to you all. Thank you very much for your generosity. All right. There's a lot of trailers. There's the Mother Mary trailer, which is from David Lowery. I forgot he did the Green Knight. I never saw the Green Knight, but I've seen I saw Ain't Nobody Saints, so um that means something. But it actually looked really cool. It looked very odd and different. And like, if a pop star wanted to reinvent herself, they like went into this weird, reinvention thing. And Michaela Coe and all. It looks really interesting. Anne Hathaway is gonna have a really good 2026. I think so. There will be no like she's in every movie things, but between this and Devil's Prada 2 and the dinosaur movie with the long name, I do think she's gonna have it's gonna be an interesting one. Okay, and then we had another trailer for I Love Boosters, which that movie looks really cool. It very much feels like how this is not because he's a black director, but I think you would actually agree with me on this. How Spike Lee would use the Vincent Minnelli influence in his films. It feels like how he uses color in that in I Love Boosters, which I kind of think is really interesting. I'm very much down for that movie. I'm excited. I'm excited for that one. And also, I like Keke Palmer a lot. And it reminds me of what's it? Which I need to. I'm actually gonna make a review of one of them days. One of those days. Anyway, because I really like that movie. I never did it. And it bothers me. I've seen it actually a bunch of times. People do take Lowry for granted a little bit, but I literally like. I noticed people call him the director of Green Knight, not David Lowery. I was like, I wonder what that's about. Although I didn't see his. I like Pete's Dragon. I did not see the Peter Pan thing, but it looked really interesting. I don't know. I'm kind of happy with where cinema's. I'm excited for this summer. I think it's gonna be interesting. And then okay, I know you guys want me to do this. I know because of my past. I saw the trailer for Paw Patrol the Dino movie. Now, the thing is this is a problem. Not because clearly someone's gonna be like, dinosaurs are so in. I do think the other studios have been like, we need to get in on this Jurassic Park dinosaur shit because like, how do they keep making so much money? It's impossible. But also, my son's like 4. He keeps being like, why don't we have any Paw Patrol stuff? And I'm like, I always try to like change the subject or be like, explain it to him. And I'm like, this is gonna suck. That somebody's gonna invite him to see it. I'm gonna end up seeing this fucking movie. Like, it's definitely anytime I watch it, I'm like, this is Jeff Puppy Dog Cops to me. I do not understand this shit. And yet, people are gonna be like, no, you're being too harsh, whatever. I just also, why are they on the dinosaur? That doesn't make any sense. They're fucking cops. Like, why would cops be messing with dinosaurs? Did cops have jurisdiction over dinosaurs? Is the ego of cops so much they should have jurisdiction over dinosaurs? They should not. I don't understand. They're dinosaurs. There's no cops then. Why would they? This is stupid. I understand. Just eat the dog. Is this how they all die? Is that the end? Oh my god. That would be an epic ending to Paw Patrol. Just a dinosaur fucking kills all of them. And then that little boy, what's his face? You know what it should be like a ZZ Top thing, and the kid should be named Dog, just like how the guy with no beard's named Beard. Anyway, William says A24 now has 2 movies about a killer red dress. What's the other one? I'm not sure. I know someone will say you should have done, but anyway, cheers to you, Mom. All right. We finished with trailers. Sorry, I had to do something about that. All right. Now we're going to talk about Speed Racer is back. Looking for logic in Paw Patrol, really? It's not that there's logic. It's that I don't like the morals it's sending to the kids in that. I just don't. Although apparently I don't know. Whatever. I just like... Whatever. Cheers to you, Sinram. Cheers to you. So in honor of Speed Racer getting a 4K Ultra HD Blu-ray disc thing, which will be out on May 19th of this year at 225 locations across the US, it'll also come back in IMAX on April 25th. was up to me to come out on 420. I don't know what you guys are doing. So if you did not get to see Speed Racer in IMAX, this is your chance. I'm sure that shit sold out super quickly. I don't know if I could like afford to take all my kids to something like that, because that would be like, I think $70 almost, or probably 80 to do that. But in my dreams, I would like to. I don't know if they would want to. I would like to, and I don't know if I could. But if you have never done it, I strongly recommend it. That is how. I'm sorry to keep bringing him up, but it's relevant, I guess. But Ian and myself went and saw that when I think it was the Monday after it came out, because we knew it was going to leave the fucking theater, and it was amazing. So please, I highly recommend doing that. If you can do it, if you're in New York, do the Lincoln Square, and that is one of the best theaters, at least I think in this hemisphere or something. IMAX wise, I'm not 100% on that. It's still, but if you live near a decent IMAX and it's do it, I highly recommend it. It is amazing and beautiful on that big of a screen. William Owen says David Lowery needs to put a 35-minute cake eating mukbang scene in a movie to top his pie scene in Ghost Story. I never saw that movie, but I was thinking, looking, I was like, man, I've missed a few of his. And I saw the 8th Body Saints, which I didn't like that much. But yeah, but Speed Racer is awesome. Anyway, cheers to you. All right. There's movement on the Aunt Gladys prequel is set with Zach Krager working on a script with Zach Shields. It didn't say in any article I saw if Amy Madigan was coming back, but I'm assuming she would. I don't think they would just leave her out, but I hope she gets to and gets like a nice Oscar payday. She deserves it. That'd be cool. Good for you, Amy. I'm sure she's fine. Her husband's Ed Harris. I'm sure they are good financially. Just like she can win one. She can win one, you know? We're just still flashing because we keep hitting these things. So I'll just keep it going for a bit. Will says, thank you for spotlighting Anne Hathaway's lineup this year, Jim. David Lowery, Robert Mitchum, and once again, Chris Nolan. Oh, fuck, I forgot about Chris Nolan. In 1 year, it's bananas. How is no one talking about that? I forgot about the Odyssey. Holy shit. You're right. Damn. Yeah, holy shit. Same, although Zendaya, I noticed is saying, like, I'm going to take a break. And yet, I think there's a question that later about that. But, like, no one's saying about Anne Hathaway because she's a cool professional lady. And she's very good on Sesame Street when I've seen her on there. Cheers to you, Will. But yeah, there has been no official word. I'm assuming she is, but I hope it works out for her. Moving on, because it's getting late and I want to get through everything. So this was sort of a rumor that I kind of don't want to happen for various reasons. There's a Blair Witch remake. I know they've been saying they want to work on that, so that's not really surprising. But the rumor that is set with Dylan Clark, if you're like, who the fuck is that? I talked about him a while ago. He's making his debut with a film called Portrait of God, which is a movie based on a short film, which is going to be produced by Sam Raimi's Ghost Productions and Jordan Peele's Monkey Paw Productions. So it's like a crazy producers there, and a lot of faith people have in him. And I'm not saying we shouldn't have faith in like his movie that he's making, which is the Portrait of God movie. But the deal to have those production companies was announced in December. To my understanding, that film hasn't shot yet, and we're offering in Blair Witch, which I don't like this at all. I'm like, let this guy make his movie first, then give him Blair Witch. I also think like Blair Witch, like they did that third one, and apparently people were like, they should just release it and hope people don't know it's the Blair Witch and see what the effect is, which is hilarious because that a lot of people were like, that's what they did with the third one. What are you talking about? I do think it's like, I think a lot of producers think it's like the Halloween franchise where, Paranormal Activity got to be Friday the 13th. And Blair Witch Project, like the first one's very influential. Not as good as Halloween, obviously. But like didn't become the franchise that another film figured out how to franchise found footage, and they didn't, and you'd think they would. And I think that's like, this is this ongoing thing. But like, this guy is just starting out making features. Please do not make him do this. Like, I don't like this rumor. I don't like that that's where the industry's going. Like, just like he shouldn't be like, I want to see what he does in a feature, not in a fucking short. You know what I mean? I'm not saying if you're like the backrooms person made a short or short stuff and then made a feature and then you can start, screen the backrooms movie and then go, okay, you can do whatever it is. But like if there's no movie and they haven't to my understanding, maybe I'm wrong about that. I just didn't like it. Scream 8, which is the Scream 7 was like a huge success, so I get why they don't want to do, want to get another one. They're getting writers who are sisters who were showrunners on Poker Face. Poker Face was a fun show. I actually think this might work out. I don't know if this means I will review Scream 7 around the time Scream 8 comes out or something or whatever, but I'm a little more hopeful. Kevin Williamson is not. I think Kevin Williamson wrote one good script for Scream, and I don't know if I've liked anything Kevin Williamson did after the Scream stuff. Really. Like Dawson, look, I feel bad about James Vanderbeek, but I do not think that was a good show. In sadder news, so this got confusing because it happened on April Fool's. I'm going to presume it is a real thing. Eugene Mirman was in a pretty epic car crash. I believe he was dragged out of the car. Very serious car crash yesterday. It's real, I believe. So I hope he is okay. I haven't heard anything, but I hope it works out for him. That's very sad that happened. But TMZ reported it, but just terrible thing that happened to him. I hope he is okay. In quick Looney Tunes news, Cinderella, I'm sorry if you want to just make a couple of these because some of these are really quick. You can just say Looney Tunes and Sesame Street for this one. Hold on. William Ullman said, in Weapons, where Aunt Gladys somehow convinced those guys to let her drink water out of a bowl, not a cup, was my favorite scene in the movie last year. It annoyed me in a way that I can't quite put my finger on. I'm with you on that, man, because I would have been like, I don't know you, like that's like the thing that, and what's it called? What was it? Funny Games. I would have very early on been like, get the fuck out. Like I would just not put up with that shit. Yeah. I do think a lot of people do put up with that shit. I think in the right circumstances, I probably would as well. But there's a certain point I would have like been like, what? No, I'm not doing that. Like I don't know. I don't think I would give someone water in a bowl. But cheers to you, William, and thank you for your generosity. I'm a little lost on where we are because we're last through last night, but I'll just do this in honor of everything. But I don't like let strangers in. I don't know. I live in an apartment and you're not allowed to come in the building and do that sort of stuff, but yeah, geez, I don't know. Was a really good scene. That was her Oscar clip. It's an interesting Oscar clip though. All right. We learned that there is a new theatrical released. Nobody commented on the Eugene Mirman thing. I'm gonna assume it's real because nobody said anything. Nobody was like, Jim, you fell for it. Apparently there's a new theatrical Looney Tunes short produced by Warner Brothers Animation. It is called Daffy Season. It's supposed to be like Elmer Fudd is supposed to be hunting for duck season, but is too busy obsessing over soccer. And then Daffy becomes like a zombie or something. I don't know. It sounds cool. I'm curious. Whenever we get to see it, I will definitely review it. So cool. And then next, we have Tubi is getting is getting Sesame Street, the earlier seasons, or from the first year 1969 to at least 2007, and it includes the R2D2 and C3PO episode. I do like that Tubi. First off, that Sesame Street is utilizing all their back catalog and like making deals and making money from it as they should, but also that Tubi is just signing off on fucking everything. I love how Tubi Like, I think Tommy Tubi's like, what? I like those old Sesame Street. Like, when they pretend to have a fucking, like, they pretend to have a car, bro. They pretend to have a car. Like, that's awesome. Like, it's just like, I can watch that shit every day. There's no car there, but like, sometimes I'm watching, I'm just like, bro, I think we have a car. I think they're in a car. And I like watching that. And then they said, you want like thousands of other episodes? And they show, sure, what the fuck? Who fucking cares, bro? Let's just like, this is how Tubi works. Anyway, I'm taking my lunch. I will not be back. But that's how I imagine. Let's see, you got a Tommy Tubi out of me. All right. So this one will be longer. I might need to take a break because I need to use the bathroom after this Netflix part. But then we'll come back and finish up because there are other things I want to talk about. But the Netflix price hike and what the deal is with that. I'm gonna be all industry for a second. Um, uh, don't get Tommy Tubi started, Mr. Neal. He gets upset about that actually. So Netflix has now become the most expensive standalone service with ads, meaning not with a bundle. Netflix doesn't do bundles, not with a Hulu add-on or anything like that. Um, Hold on. But it is, they're claiming, most people are looking at this is the Warner Brothers thing didn't work out, and so they're going to do it. They've raised the price from the ad supporting thing. The increase is just $1, but the ad free gets a $2 bump, and the 4K premium also gets a $2 bump, and add-ons increase and all that stuff. Netflix is looking at other ways to increase revenue as they kind of can't increase that much in terms of viewers and stuff like that, or subscribers and stuff. I do think part of this is Wall Street is happy that they did this because they're like, money good. That's basically any article I've said. Well, Wall Street loves this, and I'm like, do they care if people turn off? That people are really hurt for money right now? That like gas is expensive, and they're probably going, oh fuck this shit, or I'll go down to the ad tier. Um, to my understanding, it is part of that. They also do spend a lot on content, more so than any other streaming service. So just in terms of that, I guess they feel they could do it. But the fact that it's the most expensive ad-supported streaming service, and this does put them as just a standalone streaming service, the most expensive. But they're this kind of standard, like almost everyone has it. I kind of don't think it is the greatest time to do this because of just like the economy. I wouldn't do this. But one thing I did found, Netflix is actually very good in terms of numbers and stuff. But this is an interesting factoid on this is Netflix, when they turned on ads, they didn't have an ad business already. They had to create an ad business. But Amazon, which is not the size, Amazon Prime or Prime Video is not really the size of Amazon, but because they already had an ad business, their ad revenue is more, they make more money off of ads than Netflix, but they get less viewers than Netflix because they had people who already knew what they were doing. I found that, I kept seeing that in different articles. So Amazon makes more from the ads on Prime Video than Netflix does, despite viewers, because they know how to do it better. Which is an entertainment business thing, is a real thing. Like sometimes who's bigger is not necessarily making the most amount of money. It's more so the person who knows how to monetize their stuff better makes the most amount of money, which is actually interesting to me. Sometimes someone's like Tubi is far more successful than any of the other streaming services, free ones, because they had a ton of shit and knew how to do ads and stuff. But if you don't, but I do think it's sort of interesting, but they are sort of looking at other revenue things. A lot of people are saying they're going to get more into sports, particularly they tried to sell baseball opening day, which doesn't really work on a national level. It's more of a local level, and to my understanding, it didn't work out. It did well, but it didn't work out the way they wanted it to necessarily. I do think they're going to go into theatrical. There's just like financially, and this isn't just me saying that because I like theaters, it just makes too much fucking sense. I'm sorry, it just makes too much sense for them not to do it at this time. So I do think they are going to do it because they need to move in a certain direction, and they can't do that without other revenue sources. and that's how they have to do it. Now, I let me see where I am on this. Okay, I'm gonna take a break. We might run long tonight, and I guess we can. Um, because I just need to pee. Sorry, I'll just be honest. And this will just be the break, I guess. But I'll put the we'll be right back. I'll be right back after this, and then we will talk about other stuff in box office, and then Michael Jackson's Billie Jean. I will be right back after this. Okay, I am back. Let me play the. This part is a little. This next, I'm gonna play the music because why not? Hey, I'm back. I'm wearing. Oh, I threw a toy, so you might hear the cat. Here, I'll switch it. I'll switch it back to purple. Okay, I guess if we hit another thing, I'll do that. All right. So, where was I? Yes. Sorry. I almost finished this energy drink. We haven't done that in a... All right. I'm going to actually. I wanted to talk about something. This is well. How about this? I'll talk about the Bong Joon-ho animated film, and then I'll talk about. I wanted to talk about the Christmas Day stuff because it's getting crazy, and the Harry Potter show thing, real quick. But I'll talk about Bong Joon-ho. But Sinner, I'm sorry if there's too many of these. I hope you're doing okay. Bong Joon-ho's first ever animated film is called Ally. It follows a. Did I turn it back? Wait, did I do that? Yes, should be. Um, whatever. What are we doing? Am I back? Okay, there we go. Sorry, I couldn't see anything. It's called Ally. The design looked okay, but the premise actually sounded cool. The film follows a squid who dreams of becoming the star of a wildlife documentary. I sort of like that idea. I don't know if that's been done before. But when an aircraft sinks in the ocean, her peaceful world is suddenly thrown into danger. I'm curious about like those seem like two different things, but it sounds like a pretty cool premise. So I'm actually into that idea. It sounds pretty cool, to be honest with you. I sort of like that idea of like this like fish, and he really wants to be a star, and then this like traumatic thing happens. Sounds like a disaster fish movie to me. All right. So the Christmas release date thing is getting a little crazy, and I wanted to talk about that, and basically like how the holidays and that period has really changed for they could mean Scrooge. Could change for or changed a lot recently, where it's basically like a few films really dominate, and we'll talk about a little bit with that in the box office later, and like sort of everything else can't really get to that level at all. And this Christmas we have, not just Doomsday and Dune 3, but we also have Jumanji 3, which moved to Christmas Day because it wanted to avoid, it was supposed to come out, I think, on the 11th, but they're like, well, let's just leaves December 11th open, as well as you have the Harry Potter show hitting. Just like gonna be pretty hard for any movie to break out from all that. My one thing that I wish would happen is there's that J.J. Abrams original thing called The Great Beyond, which is coming out right before Thanksgiving. I'm sort of like, please move that to a different time. It's going to get, regardless of the quality, I think original stuff does a little better in March, particularly if they could sell it well. I do not know what's coming out March 2027, so maybe I'm wrong about that. And just put Dune 3 then, and then Doomsday comes out Christmas, and then you can also have Jumanji 3. It can all work out. I feel like this way is just not working out. But it's an insane thing, and it does feel like, the IMAX screen for Doomsday doesn't matter as much. I mean, look at how Barbie didn't have the IMAX screens, and it did better than Oppenheimer. You do get like, apparently it's estimate you only get about 3 and 4% bump with IMAX, which you'd think, I never knew what the percentage was, but that's it. I just don't think I think, again, Robert Eggers' Werewolf. Okay, guys, cats, they keep bringing toys to me. Okay, I don't want to. Can you see me? Oh my god, the kittens are definitely awake. Um, so it's just going to be an insane Christmas time with all this like massive IP stuff hitting all at once. And I don't like that because one, like anything smaller gets gobbled up and the attention for it really isn't there. And I think Werewolf will have that, but I think it's just going to be hard, and like please just move Doom 3 or move Doomsday. Like it's just like this whole thing sucks. I hate it. And please move The Great Beyond, because like just give it a huge, I think original stuff can work. You just have to promote it for a long time, like Project Hail Mary. Also, I think you have to have a good movie, and it's an Abrams movie, and who knows with that guy, but we'll see. I don't know what's gonna happen, but the Harry Potter thing, I learned a couple things, and I wanted to share this before I moved on. I just wanted to talk about how it's like this is really, somebody's got to move at some point and decide something, because it's a real fucking mess about that release date, and I really don't like it. I don't think it's. Most theater owners are like, this is not even good for us at this point. I don't think it's good for anybody. Um, it's like not. And then we have Narnia getting IMAX. Isn't Narnia this Christmas also? If I'm not mistaken, it's just like, it's gonna be a massive holiday season. I hope some of these move to like October, so we never repeat of last October, which was really bad. Which was really the Michael Jackson movie moving's fault. But anyway, here's the things about Harry Potter. It's Christmas Day release, which means it's going to do well. People are stuck at home. They're with their families. That thing's going to do insane numbers if it's on Christmas Day. I heard someone on the town said it'll have the biggest what was it? The biggest show, the biggest streaming show of all time that's not Netflix. Which I was just like, yeah, I guess it will. Cineram said Infinity War released a week early. I'm betting Doomsday will do likewise. You know what? Actually, you have a point that they could release in that dreaded post Thanksgiving weekend where nothing does well. I think it could do well. That like right out. It's like consumer wise a low weekend, but I think you could do it actually. So good point, man. Cheers to you, sir. That's a good point. Um Narnia is this year. Jesus. This is just like an insane holiday season. So apparently, this is my favorite quote about that trailer, which I hadn't when I talked about it last week. But apparently, Vulture called it Muggle slop. You go, Vulture. That's an amazing quote. Um, but apparently, I did learn that part of the deal with J.K. Rowling is they couldn't change the books that much. So if it's exactly like the movies, it's actually the J.K. deal that they refused to get rid of. His fault, not that Warner Brothers was being nostalgic, apparently. Which I was like, oh, that's fucking hilarious. So your deal with her has like made this even worse. That's just like epic hilarity in the whole. What are you guys doing down there? In this whole thing, it's just fucking ridiculous. I found that to be ridiculous. And then I found out they're releasing a making of special. We are at you guys have been very nice to me tonight. Thank you very much for all the super chats. But we'll just have this go for a little bit. I've lost all a semblance of I should write down markers so I can remember these things. But yeah, they're putting out a making of thing in April for a thing that comes out on Christmas. I've never heard of that shit. Has anyone heard of that far in advance of a making of documentary? It's like it's really coming out this month for a show we can't see. Like they're really pushing the hype. Like this thing will do insane numbers on Christmas Day. Like you're drunk and you're like sitting there. I guess this is what I do on Christmas Day. But like you're sitting there on the couch, your mom's like, "Let's put on Harry Potter." You're like, no, it's transphobic, bro. And then you fall asleep, and then you wake up, and like he's getting the wand at Gringotts or whatever. I'm sure that's how the first one went. If it does, who cares? I mean, it's well, there's nothing stopping this thing. It sucks. All right, moving on. I'm sorry this is so long. Oh, it's not that long. We're okay. All right. If you didn't see, so Super Mario Brothers Super Show, I reviewed and showed things for the Super Mario Brothers Super Show, which then premiered on MeTV Tunes the same day I put out that review. And apparently MeTV Tunes or Wild Brains, MeTV Tunes often does premiere HD remasters of certain shows. That's something they've been going on. That's something MeTV Tunes does a lot of. A lot of people think they do it. I don't know the whole thing with that, but Wild Brain basically did a HD remaster or an AI upscale of the Super Mario Brothers Super Show, and I saw like it just looks worse. I don't love the upscaling and all this like 4K stuff. I'm like, I like looking at it, but like the preference on making everything look as clean as possible, I don't love it because I like film grain and video fuzz and all that stuff. So I didn't think it was necessary, but Wildbrain says it was a human-led AI assisted restoration to enhance restoration in color, but admits some distortions can occur due to limited original masters. There weren't like great original masters of Super Mario Brothers Super Show. I just think it was like they 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 just wanted to restore things and like make it look nice because they knew Super Mario Brothers Galaxy was coming out and they wanted to look as nice as possible. But I do think that was sort of a major fuck up, and it doesn't make me want that to be any part of the restoration process if that is what it's going to look like, because it looks worse than the links I had on Tubi or YouTube. So like what's the point of it then if it's gonna not look as good as that? Even it just looks like Mario looks worse, the animation looks worse, the movement looks worse. Like it just doesn't look good. And if we're gonna be doing that, it's like the colorization thing. Like none of the colorization things, those movies that were colorized look good. You just have these shitty quality copies that ruin the IP that you own. Like what is honestly the point? Like it's the same thing with like, well, what if we stretch out this thing because maybe two people won't watch this aspect ratio? Fuck those two people, bro. Like what are we even doing with this? Just like if you're so worried about losing these two people who were barely going to give a shit, like this is something entertainment industry needs to get past. Like you're not going to win over people who don't like watching old stuff. Respect the people who like watching that old stuff and appeal to them. Like, stop acting like we need to go outside the niche. Like, that clearly doesn't work. You just get crap that like no one really wants in the end, and that's what this is too. I do not like AI upscales and all that stuff. In Marvel rumor Spider-Man stuff, the rumor is, or been confirmed, that Sadie Sink is playing Jean Grey. That explains the hopping over bodies thing that we saw in the Spider-Man trailer. So in a way, I wrote the big screen Spider-Man and Its Amazing Friends is happening. It's Firestar, but she looked like Jean Grey a little. But apparently there's rumors. I didn't get to go into like she's like central to the mutant era or whatever. I don't know anything about that. But apparently she is Jean Grey. We also let me get past this and I'll get you Racket Lomax, but I appreciate your super chat. Supposedly there was an older female villain originally, but then Anne Hathaway and Sadie Snook passed because they thought it wasn't very good. And apparently the studio went, oh, like these two major actresses wouldn't be in a Spider-Man movie is not a good sign. Anne Hathaway was almost Black Cat in Spider-Man, Sam Raimi's Spider-Man 4, so it is surprising she turned it down. Also, she's probably like, I got enough stuff going on. I don't need this. But apparently that did make them emphasize Jean Grey more. There was a script change because originally it was going to be some older female villain. We don't know who it was going to be, but they did reach out to Anne Hathaway and Sadie Sink. And then this is a rumor. I want to specify that Kitty Pryde will be in the new X-Men team. That's like a rumor that's been going around. This is not involved in Spider-Man. Anyway, I just wanted to, but Sadie Sink would be a good Jean Grey. I hope she gets better plot lines. Do not make her the Phoenix. Dear Lord. Just no Phoenix this time. She can be the Phoenixless one, and people will be like, well, what if she was? And we'll be like, no, we don't need to hear about that. Just shut the fuck up. All right, Rocket Lomax, thank you for being here. For your super, have you seen the James Cameron AI remasters of Cr-AY-Zee Aliens in the Abyss? I've seen clips of them, and they look like butt. That's how I feel about it. I think the problem with, like, if you do a really good job with the remasters, but it's like, if you're not going to spend the money, I just like don't. I don't know. There's an AI upscale Secret Mall Apartment. I did like that movie. That's a good movie. Cheers to you, Rocket. Are we doing? Okay. I might do this until Billie Jean. Because you guys have been very nice. And I feel like Billie Jean, we should keep solid colors in that one. All right. Box office. Oh, man, I am running late tonight. I'm glad this is the one I'm doing when no one's home. Box office. Let's talk about the box office. So Project Hail Mary, which we're going to talk about last week, and then we'll briefly talk about Super Mario Galaxy, but we'll get more into that next week. Project Hail Mary, as of this moment, which I think this is not going to hold past this weekend, is the highest grossing original movie of 2026 if you based on like movies within the year. I guess it's like Avatar or whatever. But it's made 163 million, over 300 million worldwide. And it made 54 million this past weekend, which is the second weekend, only went down by 32.8%, which is insane. That's an insane number. That's like what Pixar and GOAT are doing. Actually, it also added 70 screens. Jesus, this movie's a monster. It's the third biggest week. It was the third biggest weekend of the year. It was basically like, I think it was like Hail Mary, Scream 7, and then Project Hail Mary at number 3. It was the 8th highest grossing non-sequel domestically. It has outgrossed Weapons already. And it is Ryan Gosling's second highest grossing movie, the highest grossing being Barbie. Although I would argue it's the highest grossing movie of him as the lead and main selling point of the movie. But it is not his highest grossing one. That would be Barbie. Internationally, it only went down by 10%, which is insane. It's $300 million worldwide. And if Mario makes, which I think it will, over 164 million over the 5-day or over this weekend, which I think is possible, it will beat that, but it has to make more than 164 million. I think that is like gonna happen. But Project Hail Mary is doing really good. This is really good for the industry. I think we're at, before I bring up, there's other actually really cool box office things. I'm sorry if I'm like going on this back, but I wanted to talk about a few of these. But last we're up $200 million higher than last March, which is really good. But yeah, it's doing better than last year. This is gonna fall off because last year was Minecraft. We made 185 million domestic, so it's gonna be a little closer. But we'll see. I'll get into the Mario stuff after this. There's like legitimate other things. First, Hoppers only went down by 31.7%, which is also really good. I think it's the second or third highest grossing one, which is also really good. This is really good signs also because before Galaxy comes out that these are performing well means they will definitely fall off. That's like, especially Hoppers. I'm sorry, Hoppers. But like Project Hail Mary is appealing to a different demo, well, sort of, and Mario's just everyone, I guess. But it's good for the industry and good for theaters. This is like a very good time for theaters. We're going to see good things of this. They Will Kill You bombed, unfortunately. It seemed like a cool movie, but it really fell off pretty significantly than it thought it did. Many people because think Ready or Not and that coming out at the same time was a bad move. I would agree. Reminders of Him is really losing stuff pretty dramatically. I feel bad for that one. But this is cool. Not enough people are talking about this. What's it called? Dar The Revenge is now the highest grossing Indian or Bollywood film domestically at 22 million. It's the highest grossing one in American box office history. Dar The Revenge. Not enough people are talking about it. It's in fifth. It actually held better than most of these usually do. They fall off pretty dramatically. But Dar The Revenge, now the highest grossing Indian film domestically, America-wise. I think overall, and that box office is apparently very confusing and stuff, it's like in the top 10. But good for that. I don't think we talk about that enough. In other news, Goat crossed $100 million. It's still holding well, only going down 37%. So that is definitely going to fall the fuck off. I'm sorry, Goat. It's also, yeah, it's like, I'm sorry about that. Undertone continues to hold. It's actually lost a lot of theaters, but still stayed in the top 10, only went down 45.2%, which is good. And then Forbidden Fruits, which I heard a lot about actually, and I thought, oh, it's not doing that well. Ended up in the top 10 with 1.1 million. Good for you, Forbidden Fruits. I didn't see it or watch even a trailer, but I'm sure it's good. So basically this weekend, we're going to see what's going to happen with Mario. Mario Galaxy did make 34 million first day, which is up less than a million, is less than a million than what Hail Mary made in its first day, which is actually interesting. But that was a Friday. This is a Wednesday. And it's above the last Mario movie made 31 in its first day. So that's actually really cool. And here's a funny little trivia here is I never care about market share, but Universal is in last place with movie studios for this year, which I heard that and I was like, yeah, but like this is why I think market share is dumb, because it's like, I guess that's the market share, but I think we all know what the market share is going to be after this weekend. So I'd like kind of like, anyway, so I did. Most people who mention that would be like, well, this is going to change this weekend, but yes, Universal is in last place. Good for them. But we'll see. I do think it could outgrow Minecraft. It's also spring break week, so I think like we could see like the 5 day is like $200 million and like the weekend isn't as high. I can see that being the case. They're really going for that Easter week. We'll see, but it's gonna be insane. It's gonna have the highest grossing weekend of the year. It'll probably be the highest grossing movie of the year by Sunday, if not by Saturday. All right, let's pretend maybe we won't go long. I don't know. Drink, I guess. Do you guys still do Jim the Bingo thing? I wonder. All right, we'll do. Maybe I shouldn't have flashy lights during the obits. Maybe that's disrespectful. All right, let's. Actually, I'm gonna go. We're gonna do red for. I kind of like the red and blue light thing, to be honest with you. All right. Yeah, no, the bride fell off. I did completely missed the Bride, unfortunately. That is one thing I'm doing this week, is like just catching up and getting stuff out on time, because you miss stuff, and I did miss the Bride because too much was going on, unfortunately. But I would like, maybe I'll see it on streaming or something like that. So two people I want to talk about in the Obits: James Tolkien, who most people know from Back to the Future, but I know more. Oh, sorry, but I know more also from Master of the Universe. He did. I think I saw him in other stuff, but mainly for Back to the Future and Master Universe, playing either a cop or a principal. I always really liked him. He was always really good in those roles. RIP to him. I posted Dolph Lundgren's memorial thing to him. I think I saw him do his before. I don't think I saw one from Michael J. or any of the people from Back to the Future, but I'm not exactly sure on that one. But RIP to him. I really always felt he's an indelible presence for sure. And then also Mary Beth Hurt, who was also Paul Schrader's wife, as well as she was in The Big Chill, Interiors, the Woody Allen movie, Age of Innocence, which was Scorsese, The World According to Garb. Great underrated actress who died this past week. R.I.P. to her as well. James Tolkien was in the top grossing movie in 1985 and 1986. I almost want to say that Simpsons thing, like, wow, 2 decades. Wait, 85. Oh, Top Gun. Okay, sorry. Top Gun does not have the nostalgia for me that Master of the Universe does. I'm sorry. Top Gun, I don't know. Top Gun is not I'm not a Top Gun guy. Top Gun Maverick, I think, is better than the 80s Top Gun. I don't know if that's a hot take. I've said it before, but all right. Let's pretend I took a break. If anyone, we are towards if you want to do a super chat before the end of the show, I know there's been a lot of super chats, and I thank you very much for that. But if you want to, I'm going to do the Michael Jackson thing. I probably will not. And then questions. So that's kind of be the rest of the show. I think we'll end, let's say 12:40ish. Let's say, or not. I don't know. Maybe earlier. We'll see. Anyway, I wanted to talk about. Oh, I want to say this. I understand Michael Jackson can be controversial to a certain degree. I'm not going to really talk about any of the controversial stuff. I do think a lot of these videos are part of culture and very influential, and we'll be talking about them in that way. If it bothers anyone, you can let me know, and you don't have to watch that part and everything like that. I generally, like, yes, I think he probably did it, although there isn't really concrete evidence, but most people agree. Most likely, that's a whole, like, powder keg of stuff that I'm confused about. I know I said on Pizza Party it was not true, and what I said was not inaccurate because the person who made the allegations did say that, but then they took it back. I don't fucking know. I don't know. I think he did something weird with somebody. Whatever. He made iconic music and videos, and that's what I'm talking about here. I'm not going to deny that he did or didn't do those things. I think most likely yes, but those aren't going to be in the videos, but I just want to acknowledge that. My thing with the Michael Jackson stuff is I will finally edit the Scream thing, and then I'll probably come out this month. I would like to do Billie Jean and Beat It. Thriller, I think, needs more time. I even have a Thriller book. Where is it? Is it here? Where is this Thriller book? Okay. I don't want to knock a ton of books down, but I have a cool Thriller book, and there's a lot to go through with Thriller, but I think Billie Jean and Beat It I could at least do because those are pretty iconic, and I'd like to review them and do some Michael Jackson videos. So anyway, I think that's appropriate. All right. Let's talk about Michael Jackson's Billie Jean. That's what I'm talking about tonight. So Michael Jackson's Billie Jean is this, we're talking about the video, but not just the not really the song, more so the video, but I'll talk about the song, obviously. This is directed by Steve Barron, who you most probably know for directing the original Ninja Turtles movie, but also, if you're wondering, like, why would Michael Jackson want to do this, it's specifically because of the Human League video "Don't You Want Me," which is a great video and very cinematic, as well as he did Aha's "Take on Me." And a lot of people say Toto's "Africa," which I don't remember that video super well, but apparently they've all gotten over 1 billion views on YouTube. This is probably like the biggest video on YouTube I've maybe ever reviewed, even though technically it's a music video from before that. Just to be clear, this was fairly famous as being the video that broke the color barrier of MTV. Supposedly, various people have debated that fact, whereas Pass the Dutchie played before but wasn't in heavy rotation, and some did play, but this was the heavy rotation one. I don't want to get into that, but it seems like this is the first major black artist, I guess. Who the fuck knows? But supposedly, what happened is MTV really wanted. There seems to be a debate on what specifically happened with this exchange, but supposedly they really wanted Beat It more because at Eddie Van Halen, they're more of a rock thing, and there's some pushback. And then the president of CBS Records, Walter Yanikoff, I believe, said because they wouldn't play this by a black artist, and MTV, even the David Bowie quote and stuff like that, people had noticed it. He said not only would he pull all of his artists' videos from the channel, but he would go public that they wouldn't play music by a black guy, is what he said. So I knew they were going to pull. I didn't know he was like, I'm going to take you down and publicly humiliate you. And apparently Quincy Jones got involved in them not doing this. Yeah, but MTV goes back and forth. I'm like, well, we said we wanted this and that, and I don't know how you could deny this, but it was a very different time. Musically, you can probably tell well Michael Jackson used a lot of rock in his kind of R&B and stuff because it was the post-disco time. People were very weird about that stuff. And I think he was also influenced and knew how to use that influence. But I think part of it is because what was mainstream culture was guitar solos and everything like that, despite Billie Jean not having that. But they couldn't deny what this was. And I think MTV, even though they were forced to do it, was very happy with it because in the summer of 1983, from everything I have seen of this, was playing both Billie Jean and Beat It, which sounds like an insane summer for MTV. Holy shit. But Steve Barron probably, like, we're talking about music video auteurs. I know we talk about like Spike Jonze and Mark Romanek and David Fincher. Steve Barron probably should be up there when I was going through the list of his videos. I mean, Take on Me, Billie Jean, and Don't You Want Me. That's like an intense early 80s 3 right there. He should probably have a video directed series as well. And based on what he did here, I agree. So what I've always liked about this video is kind of how simple it is, but how iconic all of the things are. I mean, obviously, when Michael Jackson is walking down and as he's walking, it's lighting up like almost like he has the Midas touch, but instead of gold, it's just light. Apparently, Steve Barron was told Michael Jackson really liked fantasy stuff, and we know he liked Peter Pan a lot and stuff like that, and he was told that. I saw in an interview, but he was gonna actually, for a Joan Armatrading video, do this like Midas touch thing, which didn't work out, which is not what I thought about the I was surprised to hear Joan Armatrading almost got this video in a sense. But they kind of knew how to work this with what Michael wanted, and they weren't really given a lot of money for this video, despite Michael Jackson coming off the wall, and Thriller was doing well, but really took off after these videos. One thing I will say with Steve Barron and how he directed this is there's a lot of kind of very dated video editing techniques that he does insanely well. Like this opens on basically like this like weird frame thing. And I've seen cuts of it where they zoom in on that and stuff. I know VH1 used to do that, but like he does all this like weird framing and like freezes and like the split screen thing where Michael like will sing and like will stop and he's cutting between performances. I've edited music videos before and shot them, and like you're basically like keep reshooting the same person performing over and over again in different locations, and it's really like a lot of editing goes into that, and he uses that editing to flow with the song and Michael's performance. I actually, while I was watching, I was like, it's amazing what Barron and whomever edited this, I'm not sure if it's Barron, but I know he's involved in post-production, to combine the performances, because it feels like the flow of the the video toaster kind of effects and the editing works with Michael's dancing in a way. Like it's amazingly well edited with the performance. And apparently the performance was really good. Almost any behind the scenes thing I can hear about this, when Michael would do his various performances, it was almost one take most of the time, because everyone would just, because it was shot at a studio in LA, and apparently like people were working on other stuff and would just stop and watch him do the Billie Jean performances, because he was like, because he's really good. He's really compelling. It's really amazing. And watching him perform all the dance moves he's doing with the light up. I'm not sure how the light up, like the timing with all that, but like I've read so many behind the scenes are like, no, it was like pretty amazing watching him do that. And you can tell, like, I think part of what works about Michael Jackson videos is, yes, music videos are things of post-production and editing and all this stuff. And yes, this uses like with the eyes thing and like so many different video toaster things, but you have, if you have that with an amazing performer, it can really pop out. Look at the Van Halen videos, look at the Def Leppard, like any of the rock band videos, but you look at Michael Jackson and it just like hits you so hard with all that. I actually am surprised how much this works with its very dated editing, because of all of the three videos, this feels like, you know, I think the most video one, I think it feels the less cinematic and film one, despite Steve Barron obviously was good at that sort of thing. But I think it works really well. Maybe it isn't as good as like Take On Me or, you know, Don't You Want Me is very well shot and stuff. But this, he really got that to work. And I've seen it done a lot cheesier in a lot of other videos. And I love Michael's outfit and everything like this. And that they use the tiger from like the album cover and stuff. A lot of this is probably the first music video and song to deal with Michael Jackson's crazy deal with the press and stuff. I think this one works a lot better. But man, that fucking bass line, like Jesus, like one of the most infectious bass lines of all time. He really had a really crazy good crew of people working on the Thriller album, not just Quincy, who hated the intro of it, but Michael Jackson liked to dance, and so that's why they did that. But even like, it's just such an infectious. This song is just so good. This might be like this, and I don't know. I don't have a favorite song from Thriller. I've always heard like every song was released as a single, and this, what I find is hilarious. Like this came before Beat It, but before this was The Girl Is Mine, which I know has Paul McCartney, but that's got to be like the worst song in the fucking album. I don't love The Lady in My Life either necessarily, but like Girl Is Mine is like, whoa, like that. You have some real good songs and you went with that one. Okay, I know it's Paul McCartney, but Jesus. I also like how they have the girls in the billboard and the Al Capone billboard in the background with the smoke and all that stuff. It's really it's really a fantastic kind of put together thing, and I get like why he exploded the way he did. I think yes, Beat It and especially Thriller are amazing, but if you really look at like what Stephen Barron was doing this, and I get like why he became such a got to do Ninja Turtles, and he really understood how to use post production to his advantage, and I think this is, but he had to have something to base that on, and I think like the energy coming from Michael Jackson in this is really intense and amazing, and like maybe like that costume isn't as iconic as the Beat It and the Thriller costumes which you see everywhere. I think it would take you a minute to go, oh, that's Billie Jean, but it did play like, you know, the moonwalk thing, which he doesn't do real. I mean, the moonwalk thing would be in the Motown 25 thing, and apparently Fred Astaire called him specifically to tell him he did amazing. He's such a great dancer, but you can see that in all his moves and everything. But I love how Steve Barron directed this. I do think while watching this and looking into Steve Barron, I had a new appreciation for him as a director, which I'm honestly like, maybe we're talking about great music video directors. He might be like the first really great one, because he really knew how to film these people and make these iconic things, and to combine like something he knew Michael Jackson was into with, and make it work with his dancing and all that, like shows a really great, you know, commercial director who I feel like he was both a studio director who knew enough around a set to really get it to work. And like, this is, I don't know. Yes, I know that Beat It and Thriller are cool, but like, just like getting shitty 80s music video things to work as well as this does is to me, kind of iconic and pretty amazing. I do really like this video. I really like this song. Thriller is a great album and all that, but this video I think always pops out to me because it does feel dated and very 80s, but in a way that you're like, I don't know, it makes me go like, yeah, but the fucking early 80s were awesome, man. I don't I don't know. It's just like I get the fascination with the early 80s when I watch this video. You know, this was like it's fun to watch this and think like this was on all the time when Return of the Jedi was in theaters, and then I would be born later that summer. But just like I do have a kind of romanticization of that of 83 in some ways. And that just iconic beautiful moment of like pure early 80s as what this is. The others, I think, kind of can move past that. This is very dated in a lot of its production, but kind of because of the editing, because of the performance, because of the song, moves past that in a way that very few videos of this time are able to do. And I think that like shows you, you know, why did Thriller blow up like it did? Was it just like the singles? Was it Michael? Was it all this? But I do think like videos like this had a part of it. And it's also because, you know, we talk about Quincy and like Eddie Van Halen and stuff, but he had a really great creative team behind him. And I think Steve Barron deserves to be part of, at least a little bit part of why Thriller blew up like it did. And I think like that he was able to get, you know, very limited, very small budget because he wanted to do more and couldn't, to be what it was, shows you kind of the artistic triumph that this really was, both at the time and has moved on to be probably further than a lot of those video toaster type videos ever would get to be and live on as much as this has. Okay, I think that was good. I mean, how can you not talk it up? I will do Beat It at a later date. It probably this month. All right, we're going to do questions. I'm going to write questions. If you want to do a super chat, and thank you all for being as generous as you have tonight. Before we go, this is your last chance. Last call for alcohol. Questions below. Let me do the Patreon. Hello, Avery. How's it going? You know, I think the Michael Jackson of that era was was a different Michael Jackson. Okay, let's do Embla T or Mazzella Torres says, aren't you too confident about Mario beating Project Hail Mary in the box office? No, I don't think I am. I'm just going to read both of these in a row. This is again Embla T. There will be a lot of Pattinson, Zendaya, and John Barenthal crossovers this year, but why is Zendaya the only one taking a break afterwards? Can this and that take a break too? I agree. No, like I mentioned this later, I agree with you. Why is she? But maybe she's just like, I'm in two things at once, and then doing three, and the drum. Maybe she's just like, this is too much. But I do think like she's really good at making these like much like Challengers with the drama, like making a smaller movie that people want to gossip about. And I think she's really good at that. She should do that more. Sinram says Paul versus James in Dune Part 1, Paul versus Fide Rahav in Dune Part 2, the Villeneuve films, of course. I like Paul versus, I guess you mean Timothée Chalamet versus Austin Butler. And I would say, yeah, that I like that one. I'm assuming that's what you mean. I don't remember their names. Nintendo Focus said best Adult Swim prank in your opinion. I actually like the COVID one. That was my favorite year. I know they've done other sillier things, but like I think it was also like we really needed it. We really needed it. So also if you have not voted in the movie review vote, please do so. Because I'm probably the window is going to be shorter. I think I'm going to close that up towards the end of next week. So if you haven't, and I don't know if I'll get to do a post like, please vote or whatever. So if I don't, I'm just telling you now, please do that if you want to, of course. And this is the last Patreon question from Austin. Said, hey Jim, very tired. Thank you for your message last week. Also, happy Passover to anyone watching. My question is, have you ever had latkes before? It's a potato pancake. I have. I've been to a Seder. I've been to that stuff before. I like Latkes. I haven't had it in a while, but I do like them. All right, let's go up to Cornbread asks question. Those in the Discord have seen the photos that Count Orlok. Fucking, where are we going? Sorry, scrolled past it. Photos that Count Orlok Nosferatu has moved in and become my friend recently. And that makes me want to. Where is the werewolf trailer? What's going on? You know what? Actually, yeah. When is that coming out? They should move. I don't release anything around that time. It's a bad move. He might be able to counter program, but I just feel like Doomsday and Dune 3 are appealing too much to his demo. He needs to get out of there. Embla T, will the Michael movie include the part where he hired a Swiss witch doctor to curse Steven Spielberg for not casting him in Peter Pan and Hook? I actually watched Hook again. I was like, man, Spielberg, the flow of that movie is a fucking mess. I don't think they will. Man, the Michael movie really should end right after Bad, and then if you want to see Dangerous to the end, you can. Should the AI upscale Billie? Should the AI upscale Billie Jean? Fuck no. How would you rank these Ozu films? Good Morning Tokyo, Twilight, An Autumn Afternoon, Late Spring, Early Summer. Oh fuck, there's some of these I haven't seen. I think I've only seen An Autumn Afternoon. I don't know his Ozu as well. I'm sorry, William Almond. Just say Autumn Afternoon, but I need to see more Ozu. I've seen Tokyo Story, not I guess Tokyo Story. Then it's been a while. I'm sorry. I'm not. That's a big glaring omission in my film knowledge. Cornbread, you said something earlier in stream and I was kind of zoned out. Did you say I was Glenn Powell, or was that I was in the show? Just wanted to check back on the Cornbread lore. No, I was joking. I was saying like Glenn Powell should do something, and then I was joking like that he watches. But maybe you are. We don't know your identity, so you technically could be Glenn Powell. I'm not saying you are, but technically you could be. I think that's fair. Eggplant Man said Zendaya did say she's taking a break after this year. Her and Tom Holland seem burned out. Yeah, I mean, that's fine. We also don't know, like, the thing with how movies are released, we don't know how much time between the shoots there were and the promotion and all that. So it's sort of like, I mean, she's basically going to go from the drama promotion, take some time off, Spider-Man and Odyssey promotion, take some time off, Dune 3 promotion, unless I'm leaving another thing out. So I think even this year she's like having to promote stuff. So that's probably not a lot of fun. Black Sabbath, last week you mentioned that if Robin Williams had been alive, he'd have ended up being in the Genie Aladdin. But out of all his movies, what's one out of all the movies, which one you'd wish he had been in? I wish he got to live to see Christopher Nolan do more stuff. I think he would have worked with Christopher Nolan again. I think he would have liked. I have thought about that actually. Well, I think he would have shown up in that Jumanji remake, obviously. I think he would. I honestly think the one thing I do think is him and Jack Black would have done something together, and that would have been really cool. There should put into a Pulver's. Okay. Do you remember when Zendaya was Michi in Smallfoot? Oh, dude. I think anytime I see a trailer, a poster that says Zendaya is, I go, Zendaya is Michi. I know that guy turned out to be shitty or something, but like it was Dune. I think a Dune poster said Zendaya is whatever Dune character is. And I just, anytime anyone says Zendaya is whoever, that song just plays for me in my head. Black Sabbath Swiggle, any favorite Easter movies or specials? Not really. Oh, I'll tell you a funny thing, which I forgot to mention, is that when I learned I was going to be by myself for a little bit, I was like, oh, I've never seen Passion of the Christ. I should finally do it. And I guess I like the Rugrats special. Let me say the Rugrats special, the Passover special is probably the favorite. I don't think I have a ton of Easter stuff. Sometimes I watch Ten Commandments. But yeah, so I was gonna watch Passion of the Christ like right after the Saturday stream. I was gonna like make myself a whiskey, sit down, watch Passion of the Christ, and then and it'd been on Netflix for like months, and then I looked it up this week, and it's like on. I had to sign up for like a religious streaming service, and I was like, fuck that. And what's funny is I almost saw Passion of the Christ with my dad when I came home for like spring break, but it was sold out, so we went and saw Fog of War. So I was like, you know what? I think it's just God has chosen that I should not see Passion of the Christ because I was gonna like see it and like review it and put out the review next Easter or something, but so it's not happening. So no Passion of the Christ. But I feel like I'm like, look, I don't know about religion or nothing, but it seems like a higher power does not want me to see this movie and see other movies. So, wasn't that also the one where Jim Caviezel got hit by lightning twice? If I got hit by lightning once, I'm like, fuck this. Twice? That guy's an idiot. What the fuck? All right, anyway. Sarah, speaking of Billie Jean, I definitely misunderstood a significant lyric as a kid. Got a fave misunderstood lyric of your own. There probably has been one. Um, I did hear "Excuse Me While I Kiss This Guy" from Jimi Hendrix. My mom laughed at me. It's like everybody thinks that. I did that organically. Um, I think there was a couple REM ones because they used to not write out the lyrics. And when I saw lyrics, I was like, oh, that's what he says. Um, okay. William Ellman. Who is the most overrated director currently working? I would personally say Luca Guadagnino. I sort of do agree with that. I don't want to. I don't want to make any enemies. I sort of think if I was gonna say the one I hear talking about too much, I think Nolan's kind of overrated. I think he's good, but like the praise, I've never like. I like him, but I do not get. I've never understood the nonsense with him. Who else? J.J. Abrams, but I think he's fallen down to earth. So that one worked out for me. Let me think. A lot of them are like people who normally people don't like, so it's like kind of works out. Um, I'm thinking if there's somebody else. I mean, I said Nolan, so that's a good one, I guess. I like. I mean, I see them all, but I think I admit I see them all out of obligation, not because I'm necessarily like as hyped. People always tell me I'm hyped. That's probably also part of it. I'm not super into it, and people be like, "Oh, you see that trailer?" And I'm like, "Oh, that's the trailer." Okay. Um, I just because that was a good one. I can't think of anybody else who I can't think of. Yeah, I think that was a good answer. But Luca Guadagnino, I do think he just works a lot. I think that's probably the problem. But Courtney Co, have you ever seen What Happened to Baby Jane? I just saw a viewing of it tonight. And I just really love it. I have seen that. That's a great movie. I love the interplay between the two. I think Betty Davis destroys it though. How bad is Michael Jackson? Every that bad thing with Michael Jackson went on for so long that when I was a kid in school, teachers would be like, "So bad is good still, right? Is that a thing?" Like, I'm like, it's been 8 years since that. Austin, who's your favorite member of the Jackson Five who isn't Michael or Janet? Well, Janet, I don't know, maybe the older one. I can't remember. They're all like the rest of them. I don't. Maybe Tito because I can remember his name. Weston, got any '90s Marvel comics you recommend? Operation Galactic Storm, which I have the comics for still. I like those a lot. Nightfall was good. The Batman one. It's been the Max. Let's just say the Max because I've been reintroducing into that. And actually, Daredevil, Man Without Fear, the 4 issue kind of summary that Frank Miller wrote with John Romita Jr. doing the art. That is underrated. I was talking to someone recently about how underrated it is. Where is the Coyote vs. Acme trailer? I don't know. I'm wondering how that uh, what happened with that. Sidram, are you aware that Hook was once a full blown musical, but a heap of songs got cut? I had heard that before. I I don't know. I do think Hook is similar to BFG, where it's very schmaltzy kids movie, and Spielberg has too much power, and no one will tell him to fix it in editing or post. But it's also apparently they really thought it was going to be the new Wizard of Oz and like all this. I mean, it's still like I enjoy it, but I was like, this is schmaltzy nonsense. And I was like, it's interesting that he followed Hook Up, which isn't that bad, but was a considered a bomb. Like, well, it did well, but not as well as they wanted to. And then isn't his next two or Schindler's List and Jurassic Park? That is like a good way to erase Hook. Like, holy shit. How bad would Michael Jackson be if he was wearing the power glove? He'd be unstoppable. Good one. That's a very 80s kid question. The West End here. Is Ready Player One an Easter movie since it's about Easter again? Good one. It did come out around Easter, I believe. Eggplant Man 21. If Tom Holland does take another break from Spider-Man, do you think he would be missed if he's not in the next two Avengers, or do you think he should be there? He's not in the next Avengers because his movie takes place during Doomsday. I think he would be. I think he's really good in the role. I think it'll be hard for anyone to replace him. A lot of rumors are it'll be Miles Morales next. But we'll see. We'll see. Okay. Do we have any? I don't think Kugler's overrated, but I'm a Kugler stan probably. All right. Do we answer everything? I'm sort of with you on Emerald Fennel, but I didn't see Wuthering Heights. But she does get like, you know what the thing is like that she. I think sometimes when directors think they're, I mean, I know it's their job to be like, I'm super interesting. When people really think they are super interesting and the talent isn't as there, or you're not as into it, or their choices are really basic, you're kind of like, oh, okay. Because I do think like she hints at something a little. Well, no, she has picked out better stuff in some cases. Maybe it's just her. I actually think Edgar Wright's one of those that recently I don't think I've liked his movies in a while, but I love he's the only one who Running Man and Baby Driver are kind of like I could fall asleep and watch you on cable, but like I love hearing him recommend stuff. He's really good at recommending stuff. But anyway, I have talked for a long time. I hope you like over this Easter weekend all the stuff that's coming out. It's honestly most of it is because a lot of times uh things for me get delayed and it's really late and I'm just trying to like keep it moving in a way. So I don't know. I hope you like what's coming out and everything. And I hope it's all good and you like the ghosts and chainsaws thing. And I hope you guys have a good Easter. If you cannot be here on Saturday, that's fine. It's just we're just fucking around, and I don't want it to be that much longer than an hour. But it's not in continuity with movie news and stuff. If I talk about anything, I will re-talk about it on the next show. It's just for me to work out stuff and understand settings of YouTube and stuff with that, and maybe actually have the break music not just be the theme, and like things like that. And like one thing I was gonna do, where is it? It's like this book I have. Oh, now I don't know where it is. Oh, it's up there with the. There's this thing called the Depression Alphabet Primer that my friend Dan Arcuto made with Tony Millionaire. It's a good book, and I was gonna like ask if people could send me a letter, and I'd read like, uh, um, read out Depression era nicknames and stuff, not the offensive ones. I'm not stupid. Um, uh, no, I know it's not the day of Easter, but it's like the night before, or whatever. The 10. I'm competing with the 10 Commandments. I thought about seeing the silent one because I don't know if you knew this. People don't talk about this, but the 10 Commandments, the 51, is a remake of a silent film, which is also trying to be D.W. Griffith's Intolerance or something. Anyway, it's like a whole thing. I've talked for too long. Thank you all for talking to me and letting me talk as much as I have. It's very nice of y'all. And thank you all very much for all the support. This is like an insane amount of the super chats and everything. I'm gonna just do before I talk, I'm gonna do do that, and we'll do a final. What is it gonna be? Oh, we got the fart in the end. All right. I want to do a thing. Sinram, you really did a crazy way to start. I love crap around and find out. I might use that, man. I might. But thank you to Sinram, Austin, William Elman, Bloxy Oxenwinkle, Ratboy Mickey, Will, Austin, William Elman, Will, William Elman, or Poles. I don't know how you say your name well. Unless Will, Jortunes, Will, William Elman, Sinram, William Elman, Will, William Cineram, and Rocket Lobax. Thank you very much for the super chat. I really appreciate it. Cheers to all of you. We have killed. This will be the end of this energy drink. Thank you all very much. Have a good night. Have a good Easter. Enjoy that. If I don't see you in other things, enjoy the videos. I'll see you next time. And have a good night. All right. Peace. Bye. And thank you very much. See you later.